Good evening, folks. Again, I'm going to have to kind of break into things here because we do have a new tornado warning in effect for parts of Pearl River County. There's not enough evidence in there right now to issue a tornado warning on this. However, they are noting that there is a core center of circulation and an opportunity for a tornado to develop at a moment's notice. The National Weather Service saying debris being lofted up 25,000 feet in the air is commensurate with an estimated EF4 or stronger tornado on the ground right now. This has been an observed tornado, so people have seen this thing. Spotters have seen this on the ground. It has been confirmed by radar with the debris being up in the air. Because with the atmosphere set up the way that it is, with as much torque and spin as we have out there, we could actually be set up for some rough weather later this evening. The north there. So this is your warm inflow that's actually coming into the lowering, and there's your lowering right in there. It's actually right behind this pole. That is the area that we're concerned about as you look off to the northwest. It looks like stuff's going to miss us just off to the north. But I'm set up here, again, in the Powers community, just off to the east of Laurel, because it offers the best vantage point, both back off to the west and just off to the north. A little more northeasterly of true east, and that's why I'm concerned for you folks in Pineburg. Now, down in Baxterville, you folks are a little further off to the southeast. If this makes more, you could make the argument that the tornado itself is probably on maybe the backside of where your debris signature is, but at this distance from the radar, we don't know. So we need to act like the whole debris ball that you see here is the tornado. Look at the lightning in here. Almost 1,000 strikes of lightning in there in the last 5 minutes alone. Put it on the same point. You can look, say, okay, well, do we have any debris at that exact spot? And thankfully at this point, at least in this radar scan, we do not. We've seen earlier it match up with debris signatures up around 20 to 25,000 feet with other tornadoes. So I got to think that this is probably reasonably accurate, somewhere between 100 and 150 mile an hour wind in here. Work, Thomas, in there. And you can see back in behind me here the arrow pointing out where that is. It looks like Ryan is somewhere kind of in this ballpark, and there's your couplet. The direction this is moving is off to the north and east and headed toward downtown Hattiesburg. It's also headed toward the campus of USM. This is a large and extremely dangerous tornado on the ground, still lofting debris up, as Rex mentioned a couple moments ago, up to 21,000 feet, which is an indication of EF3 to EF4 strength based on research done by the National Weather Service in Jackson. We no longer have hail contamination. That is the whole tornado right there. Actually in the pedal. For you folks out in Baxterville, you're probably catching wind gusts to 20 or 30 miles an hour with this. A lot of rain coming down with some of these storms, a lot of lightning as well. You've been looking at stuff too, but the last handful of minutes, I would say you folks in Petal probably have the most to worry about within this whole setup right now. It's kind of rainy next week. Do know, folks, we'll be here all night long, keeping tabs on things. If anything does change overnight, we'll be right here to keep you and your family safe. Have a good night. Folks, welcome back. Starting things off with a look at temperatures across the area. It is a chilly go of it if you're heading out to dinner for this evening. A 47 in Hattiesburg, 46 in Laurel, 45 in Waynesboro, or we're just out moving around. There is still a bit of a breeze out there. You factor that in with the temperatures that we have across the area, and it feels even cooler than that. We're pushing, feels like 40 in Bay Springs, Collins, and Columbia. The 30s back in behind that. The 20s by the time you get back toward Natchez and Pittsburgh. So I'll tell you, folks, if you're headed out later tonight, we're going to hold on to this breeze as we head through the next couple of hours. So these 30s and 20s are eventually going to leak our direction. And it may be a pretty cold go of it later tonight. All right, Southern Pine Electric Radar is showing that we do have some precip out there. A lot of this isn't reaching the ground. I think a lot of you folks will get a couple of raindrops here and there, maybe even some light drizzle at times, but that's about as heavy as the precip's going to be this evening. We can zoom things back out. There's nothing else back here. Basically what's happening on the back side of this area of low pressure, we've got just enough lift in the atmosphere to give us light little showers that glide on through. They won't last very long. They won't do very much, but they may offer us, may is the key word here, an opportunity for maybe a sleet pellet or a singular little snowflake here or there, or maybe even those little ice crystals we get around here every once in a while. By the time we get toward about 8 o'clock, you can see that some of this precip tries to sneak into the area. Everything's still showing up as green on here. But I will say that there is a chance that we maybe mix in a little bit of, wintry mix activity, real light stuff across some of our northern counties before that kicks on out of here. And then we wake up tomorrow morning, the clouds starting to clear out. We hold on to the clouds for most of the night, which is why we're not going to get too terribly cold, but the clouds will start to clear out as you wake up in the morning. Temperatures will be back down into the low to mid 30s, 35 in Hattiesburg, 34 in Collins, and 34 degrees in Columbia. As we get into the afternoon, you can see a little bit of high cloud cover in here, but for the most part, I think we're mostly sunny tomorrow afternoon. A much needed dry and sunny day across the Pine Belt. 58 in Hattiesburg, 57 in Collins, 58 for you folks in Laurel, and 59 in Leakesville. Pushing 60 degrees, but we probably won't quite get there. There's your cloud cover in the morning. We start to clear out of that into the afternoon, but we do hold on to some high clouds, I think, by later in the afternoon. And then we start to actually cloud things back up, I think, as we head through the evening hours on Friday and then into Saturday morning. Top things out at about 58 degrees, that 10% chance for some precip early in the morning. We'll hold on to another 10% chance for a patch of drizzle on Saturday morning as well. Temperature about 40 degrees. We'll get back to 65 on Saturday. 68 on Sunday. The clouds you see there are going to be later in the afternoon, drifting our direction out ahead of the next chance for rain Monday, Tuesday, kind of into Wednesday, and then again on Thursday and into Friday of next week. Next week is looking like a very rainy week, so please get your opportunity to get your sunshine in, because as we head toward next week, we're talking about a whole mess of rain. Carrie?